but we are finite. We have a limited amount of time on this earth. We learn to be patient. We learn how to wait because we recognize that. So when we cease to recognize our finite time on earth, which I think a lot of our time online encourages us to do, is we lose an ability to understand what waiting is for. And we fill all our interstitial time with entertainment, with distraction, with the kinds of things that don't give our minds the ability to wander and to think creative thoughts, even to have an aha moment, as the cliche goes. And those are really important fallow times for your brain to just do what it does. You're not always going to have a deep thought, but you are giving it a rest from constant stimulation. And this was a task I put to myself when I was writing the book. Do not pick up your phone for an entire day when you have a minute or two. You're waiting for the bus or, there's nothing to do. You're at a doctor's office or something. Don't pick up your phone. It was a challenge for me. And I'm pretty thoughtful about my phone use.
My challenge is, can you take a shit without looking at your phone?
This is many Americans' challenge today. You're not alone.
No, and when half an hour later, your legs are completely numb and there isn't anything left in
but
your
all the wise thoughts you've had.
Your Ozempic adult intestine. But yeah, no, I feel that happening to my. I needed to go to the loo. I forgot to bring my phone with me. I'm sitting there. I'm in a kind of blind panic. What do? I look at the trash can like I used to. Do I read the ingredients on the air freshener can? Do I do what I used to do, which is
just
sit there and recognize. Again, this is part of our impatience with being human.
Yes,
right?
Exactly.
It's our impatience with being what we are. And we don't like to have our lives determined by reality. We don't like to age, for example.
Yeah.
We talk about this a certain amount. And which is why, the internet visionaries, people like Musk or whatever, want to somehow extend human life exponentially because that's the logical conclusion of banishing waiting.
That's right.
It's although why you'd want to be constantly distracted all the time forever is beyond me. But I think there is some kind of absence of any sense of spirituality in this stuff that provides some kind of perspective on the world. So what you're saying is that next time you're sitting in line, take it, accept it.
Look around, let your mind wander. I mean, these are the experiences that have disappeared. And again, I argue, especially with my lovely libertarian friends who want to call me as someone who's in a moral panic. These things disappeared not because anyone dictated from top down that we should do this. And we didn't really choose it. I think a lot of people feel that they just suddenly woke up one day and they're like, I always have my phone with me. And your phone has become much more than just a communication device. It unlocks parking when you have to park. It's a Swiss Army knife for your life. And it's designed to do that. It's designed for you to have to funnel most of your human activities through it. That's the point. That's what technologists want you to do. But what that means is that setting it aside has to become an active choice all the time. So there have been wonderful books. John Haidt and others have written about how as parents need to do this for their kids now. You need to actively say, put the phone down. Don't watch many hours on the screen. But for adults now, particularly those of us who grew up in the hybrid reality of pre and post smartphone, we have to actively choose the human thing, the face-to-face, the impatient, the often unpleasant but necessary moments in time where we deal with other people. We have to actively choose that now because the default is to avoid. The default is to mediate.
And if you don't do that, your entire day feels the same.
Yes.
There's not a break from the constant distraction, the constant dopamine hits from
which are curated to satisfy you in the same way over and over again.
Which are now becoming more and more skilled at keeping you constantly in the same state all the time. Now, if you, for example, if you went to work out at the gym for an hour, right, you'd be amazed. You could go there for that, and you're focusing on your body. So it's a way to actually get out of your head. And yet everyone is on their phone. First of all, they're in their own world with music, even though there's usually hideous music playing anyway. Then they're in between every set. They're looking at their phone to check.
Right.
It's an absolute. It's as instinctive an impulse as getting the water bottle. It's now. What would happen if we just went there, didn't put our earphones in, and we might actually meet people